I'm here to shame the Lientists. The Lientists like Jesus Martinez Frias, like David Jones, like A. Delgado, like F. Rull. These are the professionals in the study of megacryometeors. And what they did is they look at them. They look at the megacryometeors and they perform this analysis called Raman spectroscopy. And Raman spectroscopy, I was doing a little bit of research on, is there was a guy named Raman in the 1920s, actually a real smart guy, because he understood how the Libyan desert glass has a linear polarization to it. But in Raman spectroscopy, photons of a single wavelength and visible range are focused onto a sample. Commonly a laser is used, and the photons interact with molecules, and they're either reflected, absorbed, or scattered. Majority of scattering is Rayleigh scattering, but Raman scattering is just 1 out of 1,000,000 photons that are inelastically scattered. And so they performed this analysis on 4 separate blocks of ice from 4 different countries. And what they concluded, erroneously, because they didn't understand that there's 2 states of ice, amorphous and crystalline. Amorphous ice is clear, transparent, and it is formed under very severely cold conditions, like the mesopause, or just above the mesopause at 100 kilometers, where the temperatures of the mesopause can fall below 130 Kelvin, which is minus 225 degrees Fahrenheit. So that's why we have the transparent amorphous ice that we do not see. It's very much higher than what they concluded. See, they concluded, well, the crystallization is forming in the tropopause. Well, yeah, it is. But it doesn't mean that's where it came from. That just means where it crystallized. Okay? What? Dude, all this research, I call these people the Lientists. They're the Lientists. Are they that anal? They don't have any common sense? They don't understand? I'm going to shame the hell out of you when I'm exalted. The hail will sweep away the refuge of lies. I love that verse, Isaiah 28:17. The hail, and the hail, hail me. There's so much evidence for a glass sky. Do I have to repeat myself? Do I have to sound like a broken record? Look at all this stuff, rainbow. Just the whole reason why we have rainbows. It's not because it's coming from the raindrops in the atmosphere. That's only the reflective surface of the glass dispersed light as the sunlight's going through the glass sky, gets projected on. How many times do I have to repeat myself here? Living desert glass, mystery solved. Tektites, mystery solved. Megacryometeors, of course, mystery solved. Birefringence. There's a quadruple offset rainbow. This is because Raman, I love that guy Raman, he found out that Libyan desert glass has a birefringence to it. Also a linear polarization. Ozone, the fresh sun after thunderstorms, connected to glass plate air ionizers, fusion crust. You know, when a meteor goes through the atmosphere, it gets covered with glass, burnt glass. Colorization of clouds. I explained previously to you why the red, when white goes through a glass prism, the red gets least refracted. So at the horizons in the sunset or the sunrise, we'll see a red sky. That's because the other colors are being refracted too much for us to see. The colorization of clouds, that's why we get red clouds. That's why we got different spectrum colors of clouds. It's because of the dispersion of light, greenhouse effect, Kármán line, UV radiation, black lightning. The whole reason why we have lightning, ball lightning, is because glass is present. This has been studied and proven by scientists. L's, you know what L's are? Upper atmospheric lightning. The top of L's is at 100 kilometers. Radio wave scattering, 100 kilometers. Operation Fishbowl, the military knows very well about this. Why? Why are you suppressing my information, you Lientists? Too much pride, huh? You don't want to admit that the Lord was right, do you? You don't want to admit, God, you made the biggest monumental error in the world. That you're living inside the world and there's a glass sky and there's ice attached to that glass sky. Superior mirages, you get that double shift, that horizontal crease. Meteor showers, okay? There's space debris that cyclically on an annual basis skids across the glass sky. That's why we see the shooting stars. Triboluminescence, okay? When it skids across the glass sky, it lights up. Very simple, people. Redshift. I explained to you why redshift's happening, why redshift and quasars that are appearing to be connected to galaxies, and they're supposed to be very, very far away, they're not. They're just simply, there's the glass celestial sphere. There's two levels of glass now, but the higher one, the celestial sphere glass level, is bumpy. It's non-uniform due to the fact that there was a global flood and the water melted through the glass when the sun and the stars got really hot, clustered together. This is all simple stuff here, guys. Aberration of light because of refraction of the glass. Space vehicle they need heat shields. The space shuttle, okay. Dark space, there's a dark space surrounding glass. Auroras, the bottom of auroras are 100 kilometers, so there's so much proof here. We got Bottlinger rings, okay. The caustics are being projected onto the clouds. It's a mystery, another mystery solved. The Schumann resonance, it's at 100 kilometers, 7.83 hertz. So much evidence, and yet you refuse? You refuse, you Lientists? You're disgusting. You're disgusting. That's all I can say to you. Look at this. Yeah, well, gee. It's like you're just like too focused on microscopically studying something and not looking at the bigger picture. You don't have insight. You don't have common sense. It's demonstrating unequivocally that the megacryometeors match well with typical tropospheric values. That's where the crystallization is happening. I agree with you there. It's just very simple. Okay, the ice is falling. The amorphous ice is falling down. And it's crystallizing. It's getting opaque in the troposphere. Very simple. You cannot. There's no possible way you can say that these 1,500-pound blocks of ice are forming in the troposphere. The winds cannot sustain a 1,500-pound block of ice. You got to think a little bit. But you don't have much time. You don't have much time because the sun's going to stop and all that ice is going to fall. How much longer are you going to go before capitulating to me, huh? The more I have to wait for you to admit that I'm right, the more I'm going to shame the fuck out of you, scientists. Frias, Jones. What's your other names? Delgado, Rull, Travis. Admit, submit. I am right. Lientists. Thanks for watching, people.